What'd you say?
So that was a rough start.
You're so proud of us. Listen, have a big swig of whatever's in your monstrous green mug that I saw earlier.
Did you see that?
Show the entire audience.
Well, it's a theme. It's my theme cocktail.
Your theme cocktail. What is the theme cocktail tonight?
I like to match my cocktails with my glassware.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
you can guess what I'm having.
You are having a margarita. Or is that a martini glass?
No, it's a margarita glass. Because of my technical difficulties in setting up all of this equipment you have sent me, I had to make a very, very quick drink. So I made a very quick margarita and poured it in a giant green margarita glass.
What is your preference of how you style a margarita?
So I really like to do it from scratch, but tonight I cheated a little bit, and I'll tell everybody my favorite cheat. So I'm using tonight this tequila that it's kind of not fair to tell people because I did bring this back from Mexico. Casa Dragones. It's, I think, some of the most amazing tequila in the world. And I'm using the Blanco tonight because if I'm mixing, then we'll use the Blanco style. But normally I'll use 2 parts tequila, 1 part Contro or whatever your orange flavored liqueur is. And then 1 part lime juice, a little bit of simple syrup if you want, or stevia, whatever you like to sweeten it with. Some people don't. My husband likes basically straight up lime juice, and just shake it, garnish it with salt if you like to. But I have found this mix, and they sell it at the Fresh Market, and they sell it other places. I'm sure you can order it off of Amazon. Not that I recommend, buying everything off of Amazon. But it's called this Agua Lima. It's organic.
Oh, and margarita mix. Agua Lima organic margarita mix.
It's fantastic. I promise. In a pinch, if you don't want to squeeze a bunch of lime juice, it's so good. So a little bit of that, a little bit of tequila, a little bit of Contro, and you're good to go. So that's what I'm drinking tonight.
Everyone who wanted to look at that and they wanted to look at your tequila bottle, if you're listening to this on a podcast, you can also watch this podcast on YouTube. And so you can see Ashlee's big old green margarita glass. I've just got a normal whiskey glass. I'm drinking a Jack Daniel's single select barrel bourbon tonight.
Nice.
Courtesy of our friends of Bergara.
And where's Bergara?
Oh, you better know a lot about Bergara. They're our biggest conservation club supporter.
I have heard you mention Bergara.
Bergara is an amazing
tell us.
Gun company. They are out of Spain, out of a little town in Spain called Bergara. Right close to the coast. I went and had drinks and a night out with the Bergara folks in a place called San Sebastian.
Oh, yeah.
Which is known for its pinchos, and pinchos are appetizers. And so what you do is you literally bar hop through the entire downtown area, and you go to these different places that have different pinchos. So we had like anchovies and blueberry jam. We had foie gras seared. We had sushi. We had everything you can imagine a pincho is made out of. That's what it's made out of.
That sounds amazing.
Was amazing. So big shout out to Bergara. I love their Jack Daniel's single select barrel. And it's fortuitous that I'm drinking out of a single select barrel because we are in conversations right now with a bourbon shop, the Barrel Shop in California, that may be coming on board in our podcast that will hopefully supply us with good bourbon and good tequila, as I understand.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that would be exciting. I vote for that.
But you also have local distilleries around you, right? Don't you have like the Cat Head vodka distillery in Mississippi?
We do. They are amazing. They have such a wide variety of vodkas. Pecan, honeysuckle, which I think is so unique to the state. And you can make some amazing cocktails with the honeysuckle vodka. And I was actually going to make a honeysuckle vodka drink tonight and realized we had run out. So we'll save that for the
margarita. It is.
Yes, it was a margarita tonight, non-Mississippi in origin. But next week I will be prepared with a true Mississippi cocktail. So
well, a lot of people are going to figure this out. Cody and I used to talk about our drinks, and You're going to keep the tradition up.
I'm glad I can keep the tradition alive.
Yeah. But yeah, big shout out to Bagara, Conservation Club member, a couple other Conservation Club members that we'd like to talk through. Rack Hub, and these are, if you're a company out there that's interested in supporting us, we have tiers from $25 all the way up. And the way that we've built Blood Origins is it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter the size of your company, and it doesn't matter how much you give us. We are grateful nevertheless, and we celebrate you whether you give us 25 or 5,000. So Bagara, obviously top of the ladder, supporting us tremendously. But then we've got people like Rack Hub, who is a very small, growing shop that is. So this antler, this Rack Hub stuff is pretty cool. Instead of you having like a skull mount on your wall, they build these like metal inserts that go into the antlers. So instead of you having the skull, you can have the antlers showing, but it's on like a metal base. And then you can have like a metal base on your table, or they do some really cool things.
So do you still send the sheds to them, or can they send you the base? So you send them a picture of what you want to do? How does that work?
No, how it works is you tell them pretty much there's a dimension to the base of your antler. So whether it's a deer antler or an elk antler or a moose antler, they'll design something, and then all you have to do is you have to drill into the antler, and then you screw in the base plates. It's pretty cool.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's really cool.
And then a big shout out to somebody who's going to be listening to this, Trout Stream Studios. Trout Stream Studios is the producer of this podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Alaska. Thank you, Alaska, for being a supporter of ours. And I hope you enjoy the shout out, because you'll be listening to this before anybody else will.
Nice.
Ashlee.
Wait, can I ask real quick? Trout Stream, can you give me some more details?
Just a great podcast production company.
I love that name.
Yeah, it's a trout. His logo is a trout, and at the back end of the trout or the front end of the trout, maybe it's the front end because it's like maybe getting caught. There's a line that comes out of it, and it squiggles around, and it's the audio cable. It's an audio jack.
So I love that. And as our listeners, our listeners will find out, I am going to constantly prod Robbie about starting to incorporate some fishing stories into the mix.
Well, fishing, I'll tell you this. I'll give you a little bit of insight. When way back in the day when we started Blood Origins, I did think about fishing. Obviously, that's something we should think about in the future. But I interviewed a guy. I filmed a guy already on the coast of Mississippi who was a radio voice. You actually may know the guy.
I probably do. Or no, I don't know your story, but I probably know him.
His name is Reed Geis.
Okay.
Just one of those old, just his voice had just it's got gravel. It's that classic, just deep radio voice. And we took pictures of him, and he's got a lot of wrinkles, and in a very high contrast black and white photo. It was just an incredible photo. And he was a fly fisherman to the nth degree. He didn't just make his own flies, he made his own rods out of bamboo.
Wow.
And he was a fly fisherman on the Chandeliers. And he talked about how we were thinking about whys, and he talked about the electrical connectivity between him, his fingers, along that line to the fish that had ingested a fly that he had made. So
that's very. I thought you were going to say, and then he told me why I shouldn't go with fishing as well.
Well, that's why
it sounds like he inspired you.
It was an inspirational story. He was really cool. We filmed him. We filmed him making flies. It was. I don't know if I've got to find that footage. It's a long time ago.
I'd like you to find that footage. Well, I think there's a lot going on this week. A lot has gone on. I know there's some stuff you want to jump into.
Yeah, you let out in our text message exchange today about like, what are we doing on the Roundup today? You had a very strong opinion about Colorado wolves.
Well, do you want to start with that?
Why not? Why not start with the most controversial piece?
I do not want to start with that. So why don't we, you know what, I'd like to start with something else. So
All right, go ahead.
you put out some really good content this week on the Washington situation with pumas, cougars, whatever
Mountain
people
lions.
like to call them, mountain lions. They have so many names. And I thought it was such good content. And the reason I want to lead with that is because they are having pivotal meetings this week, spanning the 20th and the 21st. People can
So
log
20th or
on
21st or 21st and 22nd?
I thought it was the 20th and 21st, but you may be
21st
right.
and 22nd, Friday and Saturday. Yep.
We'll have links to everything so people can make sure that we are giving you the right information. Where is the best place for people when we put things like this out and we say, hey, go comment, go watch these meetings? So for everyone listening, where is the best place for people to go to find those links from us?
Yeah, unfortunately, this podcast is on dropping on Monday, so the whole like being present in the commission meeting has passed. However, it's a great question. Instagram is really going to be where we roll for the most part on this. That's where the most engagement lives in this activism type community within the hunting space. How for Wildlife also has the action center in which you can interact. It's the action center where you can send emails, you can submit public comments. They even like set up a roster typically for, okay, guys, here's the number to dial into. This is when they're talking. This is when you can be ready to be in line to give your 3 minutes of testimony, the whole kit and caboodle.
Okay, fantastic. So our Instagram site for the future and Howl for Wildlife on their website.
Yeah.
Right?
Easy.
Okay. Perfect.
Super
okay,
easy.
So
and we'll have those links in our
the,
YouTube as well.
Yeah. By the time this airs, the meetings will have happened in Washington. But one of the reasons public comments are so important, and I saw this play out today live and in person when I attended the Mississippi Department for Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks commission meeting. And they have them once a month, like just about every state wildlife agency commissions do. They had a number of rules, as they do pretty much every month, a number of proposed rules, proposed regulation changes. And the ones this month spanned the spectrum. I mean, we had some small game changes, some forestry land / WMA safety rule proposed changes. We had some crappie fishing reg changes. It really just about hit every aspect of sportsmen's lives in Mississippi. And some of them were more controversial than others, but they put them out for public comment, as they do, and people weighed in. And today at the meeting, at the very beginning of the meeting, before any of the final rules were taken up for a vote, they started reading statements about how they had received public comments in so-and-so number on this rule. And one in particular was Rule 1.1, and it affected WMAs that are adjacent to forests, national forests. And so they were trying to incorporate USDA public safety rules and make those rules applicable to WMAs. And it affects dog hunting and people that live near and around WMAs. So they said, we've got so-and-so comments, so we are not going to go forward with this rule. And then as they went through the meeting, they continued on and they would say, this rule was being proposed. We received public comments, 80 whatever percent in favor, or 50% in favor, 97% against, and on and on and on. And in every single situation, they went in the direction of the public comments. And
that's crazy.
Well,
that's amazing.
It was very enlightening. I mean, I've gone to these meetings for years and have watched, and I do feel like the agency always tries, and the commission, it honestly, frankly, varies whether they go with the science or without. And today we really saw, and the agency biologists and director and the commission were all on the same page on everything. There was no dispute. There was no disagreement. There were people there in the public who were weighing in and very lively back and forth. But no dispute between.
Should we send a couple of like Zoom invites to the Washington State Commission to say, hey, you want to come look at what a commission's supposed to do?
Well, maybe. I mean, so I had mixed emotions about this because some of it I feel like went with the science, and then
they didn't line up though. I thought you said that the director and the biologist and the commission were on the same page though.
Well, the commission and the biologists they didn't disagree. Like,
but that's what you want.
Agency recommendation. I think it was just one of these. I don't honestly know. I mean, one of the ones that surprised me was a pole limit for crappie regs and they were trying to reduce how many crappie per boat. Basically,
isn't there a number of fish limit already?
And what I gathered was that they know a lot about the population, but they don't know everything about it. But they know enough to know that they probably needed to decrease the pole limit. And 97% of the comments were against that. So they went ahead and left it the way it was. And so
well, that's what I'm saying. Like that makes sense. If you've already got a fish limit, which I assume they do, right? Mm-hmm. 20 fish per person. Say, I'm making it up.
Right, yeah.
50 fish. It's just like so let's just say 50, mm-hmm. whatever it is. Does it matter if you use one pole to get it or I'll take it back a little bit because
I know there are people that go out there and will line up and they'll be in their boat. I mean, crappie fishing, you're normally out on a boat, you're over deep water, so you can only watch so many poles. And that's what one of the commissioners. So one commissioner started asking questions and he was saying, well, he didn't say, wait a minute, but he did say, because, the recommendation was, let's just leave it where it is. We've got all these comments. He started asking questions like, well, wait, what do we know about the population and is it declining, and asking all these questions. And they were like, well, we know there's a lot, we know there's a lot fewer older fish, we know there's a lot fewer bigger fish, we know we know all these things, but we can't tell you overall how many are there. I mean, fish are hard to track, frankly. I work a lot in the fish world, and so one of them said, well, I mean, some of these guys go out there with 5 poles. I don't know how they do 5 poles. What, some do 1. And so, it's just one of those situations that is a little bit fluid, but it surprised me. It did surprise me in that case.
I'm not too worried about the way that I look at it in that scenario is, again, tied to the population. If I was limited to 2 poles, I may then struggle to reach my limit. Wherein if I had 6 poles or 10 poles, whatever I have, I'm probably more likely to get my limit every single day. And so if there was a question about population and I was underutilizing a mechanism that gave me more chances to get to my limit, I get it. Right. I see that. Right. But then, but if the population, as you said, if the science was there and the population numbers they knew about were, hey, we've been stable. We haven't seen any decreases.
Yeah.
Over time.
I think they've definitely seen decreases. And look, I am not advocating for nobody come after me. I'm not advocating for a decrease in crappie limits. So
we need to figure out what our new Google number is.
I was just surprised, and it was interesting. So what I guess I'm trying to tell people is, please send in your comments, weigh in. It 100% makes a difference. It truly does. So
100%.
That was my point. I didn't mean to get us off on a tangent on
what I was going to say is I think we used to have a Google number that people could text us.
Yes.
With information. We'll have to set up a new Google number because Cody used to receive the texts, and the texts would range from drink choices to why the hell are you guys talking about crappie fishing on a hunting podcast?
Right. Right. I get it. I did. And I think, I can't even imagine how many DMs you get, because I know you get hundreds a day, but I feel like people should be able to send us DMs through Instagram. I did set up a new one. So it's not just pictures of my children and animals. And so I've only made one post, but people are welcome to DM me. And I just set it up as we hunt, we fish, we boat. So Just like one post.
Nice. Good.
But
Good.
we'll add some Blood Origin stuff there.
Nice.
But mostly my stuff will go to Blood Origins.
Let's talk about, so the Victoria duck hunting season finished 3 weeks ago, but the statistics from the Game Management Authority came out, and I shared it with you. And we had done a post a week into the duck season in which the GMA is essentially the enforcement authority. They're like the game, the game wardens. And they had found that they had checked all the bag limits. I can't remember what it was a weekend. Maybe it was 400 bags or whatever. There was nobody over the bag limit. Well, at the end of the season, 1,200 hunter bags had been checked. 0 over the hunter limit.
That's amazing.
Over the bag limit. That's 100% compliance.
I know that. I don't feel like that ever happens here.
No, and it just proves even like that they're so rabidly, again, we've talked about this. You're like, why are they so anti-duck hunting?
It's so weird to me. I don't understand it at all.
It's just low fruit. It's like the lowest hanging fruit, I guess, they have there.
I don't even get that either. But like, kudos to Australian duck hunters, because you're amazing, and we are going to do everything we can to make sure you can continue hunting.
Yep.
I promise. Like,
try and get some more money for some more billboards.
Yes, whatever we can do. I'm so impressed, and I cannot believe that they're doing this through harassment. You didn't mention that.
No. Well, 23 or 33 harassment fines.
Right.
And again, let's put this in the context. Let's couch this in America. Okay.
Right.
Ashlee, you're sitting in public WMA,
right,
Mississippi. That's whatever it is, right?
Right.
And lo and
I'm in Mount Mesa.
You're in Mel Mason, right? And here comes a kayak with somebody clothed in white with a neon vest, yelling, yahooing in your decoy spread, chasing the ducks away.
I mean, I cannot imagine. Honestly, in America,
even videoing you.
That person might be shot. Like, for real. I mean, like, that's assault. Like, that is horrible. And the fact that these people just took it and were so nice, and like,
well, they have to, right? If you retaliate, and they've been educated so well. Like, big kudos to Field and Game Australia. They've been educated to say, guys, just pull out your cameras, record the entire thing, do not react, call the cops. The cops come, they arrest people. 31 people arrested. One of them being the minister, the parliament leader of the Animal Justice Party, who's super proud of being arrested, that she put it on a billboard.
I can't imagine if you have like one day off, you take your kids, and that happens to your hunt.
It would be, the
Okay,
control that someone has.
You don't have a lot of time, and I know you are itching to move to Colorado and wolves.
Oh, we got some more time. We got 15 minutes before I got to jump out of here.
Okay.
But yeah, big kudos to duck hunting. But yes, Colorado wolves.
Not really a hunting story, but we're going to talk about it.
It is an ag story, that is correct. And if we had a text line, and that text line went to your phone, you would get a text from a gentleman called Dave Gilson. Mm-hmm. And Dave Gilson is a regular podcast listener. The Gilson farm was the first farm that was recorded to have a wolf depredation on their farm. Not from the reintroduced wolves, but from the native wolves that are living in and around Colorado.
The existing ones.
Ones.
And I 100% get, look, if I were a farmer or a rancher and I was on the map where they were about to reintroduce wolves, I would be up in arms. I mean, 100%.
Well, these are what these guys are.
I get it.
They're like, okay, guys, help us. We want these. Hands up. Wolves are cool. Bring them.
But just don't bring them near our farms.
No. But you have to allow us some grace.
Right.
We'll try all the non-lethals. We will do it. We'll do everything you ask us. But if there is a wolf that does not change its ways through the non-lethal methods. It still takes a cow, still takes a sheep, over and over and over again.
So you mentioned something earlier in our heated text exchange, that these wolves that they introduced into Colorado were known cattle
Depredators.
Yes.
2 of them or 3 of them, I think. Not all of them, but here's the other thing. The wool was pulled over the eyes because once that got out, well, the funny thing is, Wyoming refused to give them wolves. Montana refused to give them wolves. Idaho refused to give them wolves. The only state, Washington State even refused to give them wolves. The only state that would give them wolves is Oregon.
And Oregon's like, we'll give you our cow killers.
Yeah. And when the legislators
like, okay,
when the legislators found this out, they were livid. They were like, guys, like, what's going on here? And it, again, it just speaks to, there was so much false rhetoric with this whole ballot initiative.
Yeah.
Bring wolves back. There's no wolves in Colorado. False. They're going to be fine. They're going to engage with society perfectly. False.
I mean, so this goes back to when you allow politics, and referendums are political, always. I mean, somebody is organizing that. It's a campaign. That's a political situation. 1,000%. When you allow politics to guide science or to make what should be scientific decisions, then oftentimes you end up with man-made situations to which you have to find unfortunate man-made solutions. And here we are again, where we've got a conundrum, I mean, so hey, we're all for biodiversity, all of us. That's great. But when you allow the public or people who don't necessarily have scientific knowledge, and you weigh on people's emotions and don't give everyone 100% of the truth. So I am for public referendums. I think that every single state, right now in Mississippi, the public cannot put something on the ballot, and it's a travesty. Every single state should have the right.
Cody was exactly the same way. Cody was, you are right in the same line as Cody, and he was, big believer in that. Yep.
Regardless of the issue, the people should have the right to put something on the ballot. Whatever the rules are, and it should be an arduous process. But if your elected officials are abusing their power, or they're not doing their job, or whatever the case may be, there should be a very difficult process, but a process to get something on the ballot. So I'm not against a referendum process. So I don't want anybody to take my words the wrong way. I just feel like that goes outside the bounds of the public trust doctrine quite a bit there. And again, I mean, you're if they did truly have wolves in the state already, I'm not sure the more needed to be introduced.
No, let them naturally spread. Let them do what they normally should do. You don't have to force the issue. They were coming back anyway. And
you've got to allow farmers to protect their property and their livestock. You have to.
100%. Oh, I'm so glad that our text message exchange brought us to this point.
We agree on a lot of it. I'm not educated about that issue in depth. So, look, I would like to talk about the numbers. I mean, there's not very many there. We agree on that. So, but, I thought it was a hunting issue when you first brought it up. And we're not talking hunting again. So let's make that clear. There are somewhere between 12 and 24 probably wolves in Colorado, but they are attacking livestock, and now hunters have the right, if they are in the act of killing their animals.
Not hunters, just a private landowner. Yeah.
Producers. Anyone. If they're attacking your life, limb, or property, not property, but I mean livestock property, then you have the right to take them out.
Well, there's going to be, obviously, like you said, there's going to be a protocol. There's going to be evidence-based against that wolf. You have to identify it. It's going to be a chronic. And every other state that has wolves has this in place already.
Right.
If there is a chronic depredation occurring, which means multiple animals, and they have a threshold, and that threshold for Dave Gittleson, that wolf that I was telling you about over text message, it's known. It's already killed 17 times.
Right.
And they're like, that's like 3 times over the threshold of any other state in the West.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of situations that farmers deal with, things like that the public doesn't have any concept of what they go through. For instance, catfish farmers and cormorants. I mean, cormorants
Same
are protected
situation.
under the Migratory Bird Act, and yet cormorants
Proliferating in population.
Yes, and they literally have to hire people full time. They have to go through all of these regulations, permitting, exceptions, just to be able to keep the cormorants off of their catfish farms. I mean, hire full-time people 24 hours a day. It's unbelievable. And so, sometimes I feel like we make it really hard for our farmers to do their jobs.
Yep, 100%. Well, we're talking about wolves specifically because there is another ballot initiative in Colorado that we are literally 2 weeks away. Let me look at the math quickly. When this podcast drops on the 24th, we are literally a week and 2 days. We're 9 days away from the drop dead date for signature gathering, which is July 3rd, Wednesday, July 3rd. So by Friday, July 5th, it'll be the back end of our vacation, we will know whether or not we have got the battle of battles on our hands in Colorado, or we have won.
So we need y'all to get in the game.
We need everyone to, essentially in Colorado, if you're on the streets in any of the Metroplex areas and you see people asking for signatures for proposed initiative 91, hang around a little bit.
Robbie,
ask some questions.
Can they sign online?
No.
They cannot sign online?
They cannot. Dude, can I tell you, they have hired 2 signature gathering firms. The second signature gathering firm is costing...
When you say they, that's the opponents?
The opponents, cats. $7 per signature.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay? They need 180,000 signatures.
How many do they have? Do we know?
We don't know. They need 124,978. But because everybody has to be Coloradan, and everyone has to be verified by the Secretary of State that they are Coloradan. And so more often than not, there's a lot of people that aren't Coloradans that get struck off the signature ballot. Mm-hmm. And so you have to go, I think it's like 30% above. It's tight. For everyone that I'm talking to right now, it is tight. So we'll see. We'll see. We can only wait and see at this point. Except, go out and disrupt and just ask questions and say, why are you signing this? Yeah. It's the greatest science. The greatest science of mountain lions in the West comes out of Colorado. It's been the most sustainable population of mountain lions in the West for 50 years.
We need some people to go hang out at music festivals and say, no, don't do it.
No, we don't. We just need to stop the signature gathering.
I'm happy to go out there and hang out at the music festivals and stop the signature gatherers.
So yeah, that's about it, man.
Speaking of, I think that we need to continue every single week until the premiere to tell people they can come see.
100%.
Because it's a
August
big deal.
29th.
This is a big deal.
Big deal. Paramount Theater, 1,000 people. Downtown Denver, Colorado. Western black tie. Premiere of Lionheart. Western
black tie. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited about the premiere.
You're a big theme dresser. Like that?
Yes, I'm very excited about the theme. So come on, theme dressers. I need you to meet me out there.
Yep. And so, come on. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster. Just type in Lionheart film at Ticketmaster. You can pick your seats. You can buy your tickets. Buy tickets for your friends, for your kids, for your grandmothers. Whoever. Friends. Buy them for the whole
However
community.
many grandmothers you have, buy them.
Just buy them. Just buy a bunch and just hand them out on the streets and say, hey, come to this.
We may be doing some cool extra stuff. You may announce.
Extra stuff. We're going to try and convince a couple of VIPs to come. We're going to have some mountain lion to eat and try. Got some, going to hopefully have some cocktails there since we like cocktails.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, shaping up pretty good.
Exciting stuff.
All right. Next week, we're going to be on our game.
Okay.
Technical difficulties out of the way.
We'll see.
We'll see. And I will say this, a big shout out. It's you chastised me on text message, and so I want to
Which time?
Oh yeah, exactly. Which time? Thank you so much. It's constant, daily chastising from Ashlee
Vice
Smith.
versa.
That this week we have a team on Ossabaw Island in Georgia doing an amazing job capturing sea turtles. They have yet to capture the money shot, which is a sea turtle coming out of the ocean at night to lay eggs. But they got a fresh nest this morning, and here's how cool it is: the sea turtle tracks. The inward track was like this. The outward track was like that, and was like essentially a blood origins helix coming into the nest.
Okay, this looks amazing.
I'll send you some photos.
I
Okay,
am so
I haven't sent you any
excited about
photos.
this. Would you post maybe the picture you sent me? Will you post that on Instagram and give a sneak peek?
I think we've got a little bit of a sneak peek on Instagram story, but we'll keep on teasing a little bit out there.
I am so excited about this story. Robbie knows sea turtles. I'm obsessed with sea turtles. This is a very, very cool story. I cannot wait for this.
Yeah, here's the picture. I'll show you so that everyone can actually see it. I just texted it to you, but look how cool that is. It's like it's a helix.
Oh my gosh. You could not have paid someone to make you better sea turtle tracks.
There we go. There we go. All right. I'm out of here.
Awesome.
Peace. Thank you. That was awesome.
Have a good night. Everybody have a good week.